There are moments in life when the world looks at you and decides who you are, long before you've even begun to live. They tell you you're slow, that you'll never be good enough, that you'll never make it. And most people, they start to believe it. But once in a generation, there's someone who refuses to let the world define them. Someone who looks at failure and says, "Watch me." That someone was Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was born in Germany in 1879, not into wealth, not into power, but into ordinary struggle. He didn't talk until he was 4 years old. His parents were terrified something was wrong. When he finally started speaking, he was quiet, slow, and often lost in his thoughts. His teachers called him lazy, distracted, and hopeless. One even told him to his face, "Albert, you will never amount to anything." But what no one realized was that inside that little boy's silence lived a storm of imagination. At 5 years old, his father handed him a simple compass. Albert turned it over in his small hands and watched the needle spin, then stop. No matter how he moved it, the needle always pointed north. It was magic, mystery, and beauty, all in one. He couldn't understand why it did that, and that one question became the spark that would light a lifetime of curiosity. That compass was not just an object, it was his first teacher. It taught him that the universe had secrets, and he wanted to uncover them all. But school was not built for minds like his. While his classmates memorized, he dreamed. While others obeyed, he questioned. And in a world that rewarded conformity, his curiosity made him an outcast. He once said, "School destroyed my curiosity. They wanted obedient minds, not creative ones." So he became a rebel, not against people, but against small thinking. He refused to be another silent follower in a system that valued repetition over imagination. After graduation, life didn't get easier. He couldn't find a job as a teacher or researcher. No university wanted him. So he worked as a clerk in a patent office, reading inventions written by other people, inventions he could have improved himself. Most would have given up. Most would have said, "Maybe they were right about me." But not Einstein. He used every quiet hour at that desk to think, to question, to dream. He began running thought experiments in his mind, imagining trains moving at the speed of light, clocks ticking slower as they traveled faster. He saw time bend, light stretch, and reality twist into something entirely new. And from that tiny, windowless room, he began to rewrite the laws of the universe. Then came the year 1905, the year the world would never forget. In a single year, Einstein published 4 papers that shattered everything we thought we knew about physics. He proved that light could behave as both a particle and a wave. He introduced the existence of atoms and explained how energy and mass were connected, through a small, simple equation that changed everything. E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass multiplied by the speed of light squared. 14 characters, that unlocked the power of the stars, the energy in all creation. It was the birth of modern physics, and the moment an unknown clerk from a patent office became a legend. Overnight, the world knew his name. He was called a genius, a revolutionary, a once-in-a-thousand-years mind. But Einstein didn't see himself that way. He said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." And maybe that was his real power, not his intelligence, but his relentless curiosity. The ability to ask, "What if?" To believe that imagination could see farther than knowledge ever would. As he grew older, fame surrounded him, but he never let it control him. He spoke softly, smiled often, and stood firm in what he believed. When the world plunged into war and hate, Einstein became a voice for peace. He fought against racism, against fascism, and against silence. He said, "The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything." Even in politics, he saw the same truth he saw in science, that everything is connected, and small forces can shape entire worlds. But behind the laughter and the wild hair, Einstein carried loneliness too. He often felt misunderstood, even by those who admired him. He once said, "It is strange to be known so universally and yet be so lonely." But he turned that loneliness into purpose. Instead of seeking applause, he sought understanding, not from others, but from the universe itself. He kept chasing the truth until the very end. When Albert Einstein passed away in 1955, the doctor who examined him noticed something extraordinary. His brain was slightly different, larger in the regions linked to imagination and thought. But that was not his secret. Because the truth is, Einstein's power didn't come from his brain. It came from his belief. His belief that no matter how ordinary you seem, if you stay curious, the world will eventually notice. He showed us that being different isn't a curse, it's the beginning of greatness. Today, Einstein's name means genius. But behind that name was a boy who failed exams, who was told he was stupid, who got rejected from jobs, and who was left alone with his thoughts. He turned rejection into discovery, doubt into drive, and questions into revolutions. He didn't wait for the world to believe in him, he believed in himself first. And that made all the difference. So if you've ever been told you're not smart enough, not capable enough, or not ready yet, remember this. Albert Einstein was told the same thing. But he didn't let those words define him. He proved that true intelligence is not about answers, it's about curiosity. He showed that imagination is the bridge between who you are and who you can become. And he proved one timeless truth. You don't have to be perfect to change the world. You just have to keep wondering.